Hey, good morning, guys. Getting ready to start. Probably doing the fender today. Last night we got a little bit of snow, but it's like 36, 37 degrees right now, so it's kind of burning off. We're gonna go back here. I gotta clean off the front of the Trans Am. There's my Crown Vic all covered up for the winter time. Basically, I cover that up, and then I cover up my Ram truck, and I use that little Bronco as my winter vehicle. We go into my casa. It's not really my casa, it's my garage, whatever that means. But yeah, so today I'm gonna clean that mess up off the hood of my car, and then take off the front fender, and got one of those little stands set it up here, and then we'll work on patching the bottom piece right there. Everything else is pretty solid, but after I take it off, I'll probably figure out more. Other than that, check back in a little bit. So as you've seen, I removed the fender. Had a few more bolts than what I thought it had in there. Well, this is the area of concern right here. All this rust comes down. This might be good right down here. So I'm gonna have to just grind it down, find out what I have. But this is what I was talking about. Somebody had previously done some kind of repair. And I'm not really sure. It feels like a bunch of, I don't know if it's rivets that are bent over, or maybe it's just tack welds that are welds that went through and melted up or down. In any case, well, I got a little bit more rust up there. So I got more rust than I thought, but I don't think, hold on, let me get you situated here. The camera's on a tripod, and the legs a little too long to get down in there. So you see the rust right here, but it might, yeah, it looks good. It looks like it just needs to be knocked down, get that rust out of there. Everything else is looking decent. That looks decent. So yeah, I need to grind this down, find out what I've got. Obviously, I'll clean up what's in there. And then, actually, I'm just going to go around the whole fender because there's spots, I'm sure, that probably are not showing itself that will once I get into it. But this is my area of concern right now. This, again, like I mentioned probably in my very first video, is me and my brother were tearing it apart, and because I was only able to come home for week, 2 weeks at a time on leave, once I tore into something, I was more concerned about, let's just put a bunch of stuff on it so it won't rust, or I'll go 2 steps behind just trying to get a step forward. So all this right here is Rust-Oleum, the color I had at the time, I guess. But I'll clean all that up. That'll get it painted all black. The engine, again, what I was telling you earlier in a previous video, that is a Pontiac engine. It's just my dumb butt wanted orange, and I should have went with either the blue or black. I think black is universal. I'm not a big fan of the Pontiac blue, but seeing orange in there just doesn't kind of mesh with what the car is going to be. So eventually, Right now, I'm just trying to get this car to be a running car. I want it to be a driving, running car. I'm not looking for no concourse car. I'm not looking for any restored car. If anything, it's a rust-stored car. I'm just patching rust, getting it functional, and then from there, I'm going to move on to, hey, I'll do this, 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 and this. Along the way, I've got ideas, but I got to make sure my carriage doesn't get ahead of my horse. Stick to my plan. I got a little plan over there on a cardboard box, but it's always subject to change. Well, what's that saying? Idle minds, the devil's hands, or something like that. So the more I think about it, it's like I could do this, this, and this. So I'm leaning in directions, but I'm not going to sit there and say this is exactly what I'm going to do at this point. Right now, I'm just patching holes, getting it to be structurally sound. And then once it's structurally sound, I'll move on from there and figure out what I want to do. But I want it to be a driver. I want it to be to where I drive it and not worry about, oh, I got a little hairline scratch in it or something like that. I've gone through those years earlier in my life where I took it out, buffed it, and then drove it, and then immediately waxed it back down or washed it down and then put a cover on it and parked it in the side of the garage. So you know what? I'm not saving my car for somebody else. I want to enjoy the car, but and then in the process, do it the best way I can. Again, I'm not a professional, so if you're looking for professional advice, don't follow me too long. I'm just kind of winging it, but it will work. I have faith in myself and making it work. It's just the end game, the end state, even the end color. There's so many different things in my mind, like this. We'll see. I've got plenty of time. I'm not in a rush, but at the same time, I'm not trying to make this a 10-year project. I want to get it back on the road, and I'd like to get it back on the road next year, 2024. And if I could do that, that'd be great. And like I said, from there, kind of morph it in a little bit more. I don't know if any of you guys, if you're a Trans Am or a Firebird or Formula enthusiast, there's a Ken Block's mechanic or ex-mechanic for Hoonigan. He has a YouTube video out that I'd seen a while back, and it's a freaking rad car. I think it's like a 71 or 73 Formula Firebird. Took it out of a desert, but he put a GTR kind of chassis on it, put it on top of a GTR. I'm not going that direction, but it's a sick looking car. And I just like seeing other people's ideas and kind of morphing it with my idea. Maybe it changes my idea a little bit, but right now I know my idea. My idea is to get this thing solid, fix all the rust, patch it back up, and then go from there. So right now I'm going to start dicing into this front fender a little bit. That hood is no joke. It's a little tricky. Not that I have a windshield to worry about. I mean, I cracked this, like I said, 30 years ago when I was trying to take it out. I never, ever, ever do it. Never, never, never use a screwdriver or any pry tool. And it spider web. So I know this is a goner. I'm just leaving it in there to protect the dash from dust and everything. But I put 2x4s down in the corner just to kind of, in case it was going to slide, but I was able to manage it. And then when I was taking it off, it got hooked into my belt. And when it gets hooked into your belt, I couldn't get it out. So I had to lift it back up and get it off my belt. But okay, guys, let me tear into this and we'll see where we go. All right, I did clean a little bit of cleaning up on this. Still not done. I have more to do. But what I think those dots are now, after I look at them a little further, because there's no metal in there, so I'm wondering if they used it to pull out a dent. Because it just comes through and it stops. Same thing with this side. This side looks like it may have been dented, and then they just put in those what do you call them, slide hammer things, and pulled out the dent, because there's no new metal there. It's just which I can take care of that fairly easy. But yeah, cleaning down through here. Let me see if I can get around the back. Cleaning down through, oh boy. Cleaning down through here. That's going to clean up fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Just get a little bit more of that rust off of it. This part right here, however, I'm going to have to redo basically the outer skin, and I'll probably go right up to this bend. This bend's fine. I'll just bring it right up here and then figure out how bad it is and then bring it over. And then the internal piece of this fender, I can probably make something for right around here. So peel this piece off, peel the wherever it's bad, peel it off, remove it from the inner piece, fix the inner piece, and then conform it back. And I'm looking at it now. When I grind it, I'll be able to figure out, but for sure I think this bottom piece will be just fine. It looks like all good metal right here, so that will save me from trying to duplicate where the fender actually bolts to the car. So if I cut that, and then yeah, we'll figure it out. Even if I have to put it in pieces, I can put it in pieces, but this is all Bondo right here. Hold on, let me see if I can get a screwdriver here. But this is all Bondo. See that? Well, it's Bondo and rusted metal. So yeah, let me continue on. I just wanted to show you how far I've gotten so far. Really not that much further, but that these, I'm thinking, are those pull-out for like a dent. But once I get to grinding, I'll be able to tell more. All right, guys. All right, so here we are. I bought that damn stand thinking it would help me with specifically this fender, but it was more of a pain in the butt sitting on there than it was just putting it on the ground and blocking it up a little bit. So I brought it down here. I cut off the panel. That little dotted line was just kind of letting me know don't go any further than that, so I don't cut into this. So I cut it down, let me see if I can tip this up. Oh boy. So I left the lip on the bottom, left the wheel well lip, which was still good. I left this piece right here, but I'm going to cut it out and then make just one piece from right where this white line is to tie back in that. I just see it's rusted already. I didn't even cut that. That's just rust. But I didn't want to cut it out because I want to have it as a reference. So, but I plan on cutting it right here and then making one right here and then weld it top, bottom, and then tack it into this. But once I cut that out, then I can really clean this piece up right here, find out what I've got, what I need. I already know that right here, I'm going to have to replace this piece right here. You know what I probably ought to do? I probably should just, again, leave this side because it's a lip. Oh shit, I'm going to end up redoing a real lip. Maybe I just do the whole, maybe I just come across right here and then rebuild that whole piece of it down to here. But yeah, I'll have to figure that out when I start digging into it further. Right now, I just got the bad piece off, which is this piece, and that's the back. So you see, got all that out. I know there was some good metal up there, but I didn't want to do some L work, so I just cut it out as a straight line, and that maybe make it easier to put it back in. Otherwise, I would have went like this. This is the only good piece of it. This is all rotted, and then this, I'm assuming, was a dent, like I said. But yep, that's where I'm at right now, and I'll clean that up, figure out what I got from that inner brace, and then we can move on from there. But all right, guys. All right, guys, back for another update. So I got this all cut out. This is the back structure I was talking about. Where's it at? Right here. So this part right here, you can see it's all cattywampus. So I got rid of all the bad stuff, and then I trace it out. This is 16 gauge, probably a little thicker than what it really needs to be, but it is a thick, it might be 18 gauge. And then this side right here was all chewed up, and that's this. It came in 2 parts. So it was, I think it was something like that. It was all rusted. So I cut that out, and then I well, it's more than tack weld. That's all the way seamed in. And then I still need to do a little bit more grinding. I just threw some galvanized primer on it just to keep it from rusting. So it's all sitting. And where's that other piece at? So this is the piece I cut out. This is the big piece. From the outside, that's what you see. But when you look on the back side, you can see the rust came all the way up, and then those were the, it might be for Bondo. They might have drilled holes just to keep the Bondo. I haven't even picked into that. That's what it might be. They might have drilled holes for Bondo. I'm not really sure, but I don't care anymore. But this, I got to trace this out on a piece of steel. And I've got to do this one. So I'm going to do this one first so I can weld in this backside support, bring it back up. I left, this was all good metal up here, this part of the backside support. So I'll just sand that down, and then build it for this. It'll curl around on the inside. And then I'll lay the skin on the backside of this. So, yep, that's where I'm at right now. And yeah, that's it. I'll come back when probably come back when I get this piece done. All right, guys. A little bit further along. Remember this piece? That was one of the inner pieces of the front fender that I had cut out along with the outer piece. Well, I fabricated my own piece and just kind of tacked it in for right now. So that's that. I'm going to have to, I cut gaps in it just so it would bend, because it's got some wonky bends. It's not like directly across. It's very, very weird kind of shape it was. So what I did was I put in cuts just so when I bent it, and because everything kind of flares at a different angle. If you look at it from this direction, it comes out, this rolls in, that kind of comes up. So I put a cut here, cut here. This cut turned out pretty good. I put a little bit too big of a cut, but that's all right. I've got a piece I can weld in there, and then I got a piece I can weld into this. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this piece right now. And then this will cinch up. Right now it's just not cinched up. And then what I'll do is after I finish welding that all in, and then I give it a good paint, I'll make that outer skin to kind of go over it. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, and then we'll move on to the outer skin. All right, guys. guys, welcome back another day. Happy New Year. This kind of ran over from just after Christmas to the New Year. So I hope you guys all have a great New Year. Making that outer patch panel. I've kind of got it in right now. I'm welding it up. I'm grinding it down. I still got a little bit more grinding to do. Then I got some more welding to do up on top as well. But so far it's coming along. It's coming along pretty good. After getting the inner piece in, this is the outer piece. I just got to be careful because I think I might have put a little bit too much heat right here. I'm not sure if you could. I got to, when I'm grinding that weld down, some of these welds had gaps in it. The gaps were bigger, and so I was striking the arc across it, trying to bridge the gap to fill it in. So that's why I kind of had to build up on a couple of different places, but overall, it's not turning out. Good afternoon, guys. Trying to wrap this up, but life got in the way. My little puppy that I just got, a little German Shepherd, he wasn't even 3 months old. He died yesterday from some kind of poisoning. Vet couldn't figure it out, and he went into paralysis and then died within a day of actually being active. How long he's poisoned, I don't know, but it sucks. But so I haven't been out in the garage a whole lot, but what little bit I have come out to the garage, I've repaired the fender with all new metal. I put a coat of primer on it, and gonna have to go over it once it dries and sand this down. There's a little bit of filler in there, just to kind of straighten out the weld area and then the seam, find the low spots. But it's actually turned out really well, in my opinion. The back side, well, I'll show it to you when I do the rest of it. But everything else is looking good for this front fender. But yeah, I just wanted to get an update since I haven't recorded for a while. Not too much left on what I want to do to the fender right now. All I really want to do is patch this lower piece of it, and then I'll deal with the rest of it when I get the body all complete, and then I'll go through the whole body and do it all at once. But I just wanted to get as much as the patching, the holes and rust out of the way. Everything else looks good. I'm gonna have to sand around here. There's no rust in it, maybe surface rust, but there's nothing that goes through, and just repaint it and prep it. But everything else seems to be good to go. But yeah, just waiting on that to dry so I can sand it down and then shoot it one more time with some primer, and then it's going back on the car temporarily until I guess it's time to paint the whole car. So it'll be a while though. All right, guys. All right, guys. This is the back of it. This is where the welds were at. I threw some glass over top of the welds to protect it from being rusted. I'm not worried about smoothing it down too perfectly because this is going to be inside. I'm more concerned about it being protected from the rust. So this is where this panel, this whole new panel, and again, this is like fiberglass filler over top of the rust. Over top of the welds. So this is all new. And then where did it go? It's probably somewhere around here is your seam for the whole panel that I did. Maybe it's right here. The seam for the panel. So this is the underside of it. Like I said, I put fiberglass filler over top of the welds, and then I threw primer sealer over top of that just to seal it in. And then we'll go to the other side. All right, guys. Looks like I'm done for right now on this fender. I patched what I was trying to patch. Got it all feathered out. Put seam sealer. Actually, it's a primer sealer, Rust-Oleum primer sealer on it. I got touched up the front, and then I went around the lip of the wheel well. Cleaned it up as well. So that fender right now is going to be done for right now. And then I'm going to move on to my next project, whichever one it is. I haven't figured that out yet. But once I get everything back together, and I've hit all the hard spots with patching the holes and the rust and all this, I'm going to go through the whole body again once that fender's sitting on the car. And obviously I'm going to have to scuff all this up and clean it up as well. So the fender's not done by any stretch of the imagination. It's my repair's done. And then we'll probably move around and probably do the other fender. I'll have to take it off and just see what I've got on there. It's not like this one, but I might have something that I just don't see once I pull it off. But yeah, so there we are right now. It turned out really, really nice, in my opinion. I didn't go fine sandpaper, so I think I ended up with like a 120 grit. So I didn't. It's not feathered finish, but it came out really, really nice. But anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, I think I told you earlier in this video about my little puppy passing. Such a shame, but yeah, that's where I've got him buried. We buried him yesterday with my wife and little boy. Got a little cross on his grave. Yeah, it's a shame. Such a good little dog. But and we don't know what caused it. We believe it's poisoning from something, whether it be a mushroom, rat poisoning laying around. He ate part of my wife's plants. It was in the rocks. It was a bonsai plant, and he ate part of the rocks, and who knows what he ate. We moved the plants as soon as he messed with it, and it was a couple weeks ago, so I don't know if I read that poison can sit in your body for a week, maybe 2 weeks before it's actually actually in a dog, because dogs are a little harder than us people. We'll whine about a little tummy ache, but in what I saw, it really didn't even impact him, and he just went downhill in one day. It was like he woke up and was a little lethargic, and then started becoming paralyzed, where he couldn't move so much, and then just couldn't breathe, and he passed away in the veterinarian's office. But you know, it is what it is. We'll move on. But again, guys, not to end this on a downer, because that's not what it's about. It's about fixing my car. It's just that's part of my life that kind of impacted the last few days. But got everything done as far as we're doing today. And thanks for watching. And we'll see what I turn to next. All right, guys.